Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. I'm David, and I got a question for you. Have you ever been in the scenario where your opponent was wide open and you would have won the game if only you would have been able to hit them multiple times? Well, usually in Magic that's not really possible, but that's exactly what these infinite combos will allow you to do. But before we get started, we'd like to thank all our patrons for making these episodes possible. And if you want to help us make more videos as well, head on over to patreon.com/budgetmtgdecks. For as little as $1 a month, you really help out the show. So now, without further ado, let's get stuck in with 5 infinite combat combos you won't believe our budget. Combo 1. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low. For this combo, we're going to need Hellkite Charger. Hellkite Charger is a 5/5 dragon with flying and haste. And whenever Hellkite Charger attacks, we may pay 2 generic mana and 2 red. If we do, we're going to untap all attacking creatures, and after this phase, there's going to be an additional combat phase. We're also going to need Mark of Sakiko. Mark of Sakiko is an enchantment which will make sure that whenever the enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, we're going to add that much green mana to our mana pool until the end of turn. It's also important to remember that this mana will not empty as phases end. And finally, we're going to need Radha, Heir to Keld. Radha, Heir to Keld is a 2/2, and whenever this creature attacks, we're going to add 2 red to our mana pool. To trigger the infinite combat phases, we're going to start with Radha, Heir to Keld on the battlefield and Hellkite Charger enchanted with Mark of Sakiko. We're also going to need 5 untapped lands. Now it's time to go to our combat phase and attack with the Hellkite and Radha. We receive 2 red mana from Radha and pay an additional 5 mana from our lands to pay for Hellkite's Charger's ability. We untap the Hellkite and Radha and resolve combat damage. Because the Hellkite dealt 5 damage to our opponent, we receive 5 green mana, which does not empty as the combat phase ends. Now we're going to start our next combat phase. We attack with the Hellkite and Radha, pay the 5 green mana we still had from the Mark of Sakiko, and an additional 2 red mana which Radha just produced to once again activate Hellkite Charger's 7 mana ability. We untap the Hellkite and Radha and deal combat damage once again to collect 5 green mana. Our combat phase ends, and a new combat phase begins, ready to repeat the process an infinite number of times. Combo 2. Lightning Quadruplets. For this combo, we're going to need Lightning Runner. Lightning Runner is a 2/2 double strike haste, and whenever this creature attacks, we're going to get 2 energy counters. Then, we may pay 8 energy counters. If we pay that, we're going to untap all creatures we control, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So actually, if we're able to attack with 4 copies of Lightning Runner, we have an infinite number of combat phases. The next card we're going to need is Heat Simmer. For 2 mana, it's a sorcery that allows us to put a token into play that's a copy of target creature. That creature has haste, and at the end of the turn, we're going to exile this permanent. And finally, we're going to need Twin Flame. Twin Flame costs 2 mana. It's also a sorcery that also allows us to put a token that's a copy of a creature onto the battlefield, but it also has Strive. Strive means that we can pay an additional 3 mana so we can target an additional target beyond the first. Okay, to make the combo go off, we're going to start with Lightning Runner on the battlefield. Next, we're going to cast Heat Simmer targeting our Lightning Runner. Now we have a token that's a copy of Lightning Runner. The next step is to cast Twin Flame for 5 mana. Because of its Strive cost targeting both our runners, we're going to create an additional 2 runner tokens for a total of 4 runners on the battlefield. Now it's time for the fun part. We're going to go to combat and attack with all our Lightning Runners. This produces 8 energy counters, 2 from each runner, and we immediately pay those 8 energy counters to untap all our creatures and get an additional combat phase after this combat. At this point, we can just keep attacking with our Lightning Runners and keep receiving additional combat phases ad infinitum. Combo 3. Human Cannon Fodder. For this combo, we're going to need Breath of Fury. Breath of Fury is a 4 mana enchantment aura, and it states that enchanted creature, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we're going to have to sacrifice it and then attach Breath of Fury to another creature we control. If we do that, we're going to untap all creatures we control, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. We're also going to need Thraben Doomsayer. Thraben Doomsayer is a 2/2 human cleric which can tap to give us a 1/1 white human creature token. And finally, we're going to need Ogre Battle Driver. It's a 3/3 Ogre, which makes sure that any new creature that enters the battlefield under our control is going to get +2/+0 and gain haste until the end of turn. Okay, to get started, We're going to begin with all the cards on the battlefield, and Breath of Fury is going to be enchanting a 1/1 human creature token. Next, we're going to tap Thraben Doomsayer to give us an additional human token, which enters the battlefield with +2/+0 and haste due to the Ogre Battle Driver. Now it's time for combat. We attack with our 2 humans and deal 4 damage to our opponent. We then sacrifice our 1/1 human token and attach Breath of Fury to our 3/1 human token. Then we untap all our creatures. Finally, we tap Thraben Doomsayer to produce a new human token. Our new additional combat phase starts, and we once again have 2 humans with which to attack, dealing 6 damage to our opponent this time. We sacrifice our oldest human token and attach the Breath of Fury to the newest, untapping our creatures, tapping Doomsayer to produce a new human, and getting ready to repeat the process into perpetuity. Combo 4. Rebirth of the Endless Scribe. For this combo, we're going to need Relentless Assault. Relentless Assault is a 4-mana sorcery, which allows us to untap all creatures that attack this turn, and then after this main phase, we're going to have an additional combat phase, and then after that, an additional main phase once again. We're also going to need Scribe of the Mindful. It's a converted mana cost 3 creature, and it's also a 2/2, which we can pay a mana, tap, and sacrifice in order to return target instant or sorcery card from our graveyard back to our hand. We're also going to need Bishop of Rebirth. Bishop of Rebirth is a 3/4 with Vigilance, and whenever this creature attacks, we're going to return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. We're also going to need Savage Ventmaw. It's a 4/4 dragon, and whenever it attacks, we're going to add 3 red and 3 green to our mana pool, and until the end of turn, this mana will not empty from our mana pool as steps and phases end. And finally, we're going to need Hammer of Perforus. For 3 mana, it's an enchantment artifact which gives all our creatures haste. Okay, to make the combo go off, we're going to start with all but Relentless Assault on the battlefield. Next, we're going to attack with our Bishop of Rebirth and Savage Ventmaw, gaining us 3 red and 3 green mana for a total of 6 mana. Remember, this mana does not empty as steps and phases end. Next, we're going to use 4 of this mana to cast Relentless Assault and untap the creatures we just attacked. Now, before our combat phases end, we're going to pay 1 mana, tap the Scribe of the Mindful, and sacrifice it to return Relentless Assault back from our graveyard to our hand. We can now begin our additional combat phase. We're going to declare our Bishop and Ventmaw to attack again, which allows us to return Scribe of the Mindful back from our graveyard to the battlefield and gaining us 6 mana. We can now once again cast Relentless Assault, untap our creatures, sacrifice our Scribe to return Relentless Assault from the graveyard back to our hand, and get ready for our next combat phase. We can repeat this process as many times as we want, with the added bonus of netting us an extra mana each time we do this. So you could say it's an infinite combat combo and an infinite mana combo combined. Combo 5. Godo's Shifty Ronin. For this combo, we're going to need Godo Banded Warlord. It's a 6 mana 3/3 human barbarian, and when it enters the battlefield, we're allowed to search our library for an equipment card and put it into the battlefield. If we do, we shuffle our library. Also, whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, we're going to untap it and all samurai we control. After this phase, there's going to be an additional combat phase. We're also going to need Spellbinder. For 3 mana, it's an artifact equipment with imprint, which means that whenever this piece of equipment enters the battlefield, we can exile an instant card from our hand. Then, whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, we may copy the imprinted instant card and play a copy without paying its mana cost. The equip cost is 4. We're also going to need Cloud Shift, a 1 mana instant which allows us to exile target creature we control and then return it back to the battlefield under our control right away. We're also going to need Battle Mad Ronin. For 2 mana, it's a 1/1 human samurai. And finally, for 3 mana, we need Fervor, an enchantment which gives all our creatures haste. To enable the combo, we're going to start with Battle Mad Ronin and Fervor on the battlefield. Then we're going to cast Godo Banded Warlord. And when it enters the battlefield, we're going to search our library for Spellbinder and put it onto the battlefield. When Spellbinder enters play, we're going to remove Cloud Shift from our hand and imprint it onto Spellbinder. Finally, we're going to pay 4 mana to equip the Battle Mad Ronin with Spellbinder. Now the fun can begin. We're going to go to combat and declare both Godo and our Ronin attacking. Because this is the first time Godo attacks this turn, we're going to untap Godo and our Ronin as it's a samurai, and we're going to gain an additional combat phase after this one. Then we resolve damage, and our battle mad Ronin deals 1 damage to our opponent, triggering Spellbinder and allowing us to cast a copy of Cloud Shift for free. We target Godo, exile it, return it back to the battlefield. Now we can begin a new combat phase. Since it's a new Godo, it has not attacked yet this turn, and as such we can declare both Godo and our Ronin to attack once again, untapping them and gaining us an additional combat phase after this. Needless to say, when Spellbinder triggers, we're once again going to exile Godo so that when it enters the battlefield, we can repeat this process again and again an infinite number of times. Well, those are 5 infinite combat combos you won't believe our budget. Remember, all the cards we use are $1 or less, so it won't hurt your wallet too much to try them out. But also keep in mind that infinite combos are not a lot of fun to play against, so use them with caution. Finally, subscribe to us here for the most powerful decks and advice everyone can afford, and also join us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get in touch with us. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm David, and this was Budget MTG Decks.